Right now, the average American is saving just 3.5% of their income. That is less than half the historical average. At the same time, we have hit a record $1.233 trillion in credit card debt. We are currently living through a financial extinction event. But here's the thing. The $10,000 you think is missing from your bank account isn't actually gone. It didn't vanish into thin air. It is being systematically siphoned off by 22% interest rates and psychological triggers you don't even know you have. Today, we're going to hack the system to claw that $10,000 back. Let's talk about the Tuesday Vanishing Act. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You get paid on Friday, you see that deposit hit, and for about 48 hours, you feel like a king. You're liquid, you're solvent, you order the extra appetizer. But then Tuesday hits. The rent clears, the auto pay for the insurance hits, you buy groceries, and suddenly that new money high is gone. You check your balance, and you're already doing mental gymnastics to figure out if you can afford to go out next weekend. This is the cycle for millions of people earning six figures. You are making good money, yet your net worth stays flat month after month after month. It feels like you're running on a treadmill that's slowly increasing in speed. And the standard advice you get from your parents or generic financial blogs is usually just try harder, have more discipline. That is garbage advice. Saving $10,000 isn't about trying harder. If you are relying on willpower to save money in 2026, you have already lost. You are bringing a knife to a nuclear war. The reason you can't save isn't because you're weak, it's because you are living inside a psychological architecture designed to keep you at zero. To understand why this is happening, we have to look at the numbers. As of November 2025, the personal savings rate is sitting at 3.5%. Compare that to the historical average of 8.4%. Your grandparents didn't have superhuman discipline. They just lived in an economy that wasn't optimized to extract every single dollar from their pocket the second it arrived. We have moved from an accumulation economy to a consumption economy. And this shift isn't accidental, it is engineered. We call this the frictionless economy. In the old days, spending money hurt. You had to go to the bank, withdraw cash, count it out, and hand it over. There was friction. You felt the loss. Today, you double-tap a side button on your phone, look at a screen for facial recognition, and the money is gone. You don't feel a thing. This lack of friction is why credit card debt hit that record $1.233 trillion in the third quarter of 2025. And it's not just that we have debt. It's the cost of that debt. The average APR for accounts carrying a balance is sitting at 22.30%. Let's translate that into plain English. If you are carrying the average balance, you aren't just buying clothes or dinner, you are paying an existence tax to the banks. You're effectively paying 20% more for your entire life than someone with cash. That $10,000 savings goal you have, it's currently sitting in a bank executive's bonus package because you are servicing debt instead of paying yourself. This brings us to the psychology of the spend. Why do we do this? Why do we spend money we don't have? In November 2025 alone, personal consumption expenditures, that's fancy economist talk for buying stuff, increased by over $100 billion in 1 month. Think of your finances like a bucket. Most people try to fill the bucket by working harder, adding more water. They hustle, they get side gigs, they beg for raises, but they never plug the holes in the bottom of the bucket. The holes are dopamine triggers. Companies like Amazon and Apple have spent billions mapping your brain. They know that the dopamine hit, the chemical pleasure in your brain, doesn't happen when you get the item, it happens when you anticipate getting it. The order confirmed screen feels better than actually wearing the shirt. We are currently in a psychological trap. Because the economy feels relatively stable and everyone else seems to be spending, we have lost our fear of debt. We treat credit limits like disposable income, but a $5,000 credit limit is not $5,000 of income. It is $5,000 of potential ruin at 22% interest. So how do we fix this? How do we get you to the $10,000 club? We are going to use a blueprint that relies on automation and friction engineering. We are going to stop relying on your brain because your brain is compromised. Step 1, the reverse percentage. The national savings rate is 3.5%. That is the road to working until you are 85. You need to target 10 to 15% immediately. But you cannot do this by saving what is left at the end of the month. There is never anything left at the end of the month. You have to move the money before you see it. This is called the pay yourself first principle, but let's make it practical. If you earn $70,000 a year, to save $10,000, you need to automate roughly $192 per week. You go to your payroll provider or your bank and you set up an automatic transfer for $192 to go into a separate account, preferably at a different bank on payday. You never see this money. It never hits your checking account. You learn to live on what is left. It sounds impossible, but humans are incredibly adaptable. If that money disappears before you see it, you will naturally adjust your spending to match the new reality. Step 2, the APR war. If you have credit card debt, you do not have a savings problem. You have an emergency. If you are sitting on debt with a 23.79% interest rate, which is the average for new offers right now, paying that off is the best investment you will ever make. Think about it. The stock market might give you 8% or 10% in a good year. Paying off a credit card gives you a guaranteed 23% return. There is no hedge fund manager on Wall Street who can promise you a risk-free 23% return. But you can give it to yourself by destroying that debt. Your first savings goal is actually a debt liquidation goal. Step 4, the 24-hour rule. We saw the data. Spending spikes are emotional. Before you make any non-essential purchase over $50, wait 24 hours. This lets the PCE spending spike, that chemical rush in your brain, subside. 90% of the time, after 24 hours, you won't even want the item anymore. You realized you didn't want the product, you just wanted the dopamine hit of buying it. Step 5, ego and future value. This is the hardest part. You have to kill your ego. Most of your spending isn't about needs, it's about signaling. It's about showing people you don't even like that you are successful. The fastest way to save $10,000 is to stop caring what other people think of your car, your clothes, or your apartment. Wealth is what you don't see. Wealth is the money you didn't spend. When you look at a $5 coffee, don't see it as $5. See it as future value. If you invested that $5 at a standard market return, in 30 years, it's worth significantly more. Every dollar you spend today is robbing your future self of $10. Start doing the math. Is this sandwich worth $40 to my future self? Sometimes the answer is yes, but usually the answer is no. This sounds like a lot of work, but once you set up the automation, the system runs itself. You aren't waking up every day deciding to save. The decision was made once. The data is clear. The average person is falling behind, trapped in a cycle of high consumption and low savings. But you do not have to be average. You can build a system that protects you from your own psychology. The $10,000 isn't going to save itself. Automate your first $100 today, not tomorrow, today. Break the cycle.